Hi, I'm Meg, and I am the race director for the Run of the Charles Canoe and Kayak race, the Charles River Watershed Association's signature event. This marks their 50-year anniversary of helping to keep the Charles River clean. I'm going to go over a little bit with you all to tell you a little bit about what is included in your volunteer supplies. The biggest thing for you to know is that you're all getting volunteer instructions by email, and within the volunteer instructions you have everything you need to help you throughout the day. There is this site box that you're going to get, and on the site box there is a list of all of the supplies that are within. There is a first aid kit, there's pens, pencils, tape, string, paper towels in case you need to wipe down canoes or kayaks if there's bad weather, otherwise their boat tags won't stick. There are official bibs. This is what your lead volunteer should be wearing throughout the event. All of the other volunteers can wear the extra ones of these that are in the box, or they can wear their race day t-shirt, which just helps paddlers know who they can ask if they have a question. Also within here are raffle tickets, and there's some cash in case you need to give change for anybody who's purchasing raffle tickets. The raffle ticket prizes are listed both on a laminated sign that's in your supplies and also within the volunteer instructions. In your race folder, there's also another checklist that tells you what's in the folder. There are directions for each site, how to get to each site in case people are asking you how to get to pick up or drop off other paddlers. There is a volunteer sign-in sheet that you should have every volunteer at your site check in with. This helps me know who came, and it also helps enter all of you into a free raffle for volunteers. There are disqualification forms. Within your instructions, we tell you how and why you should disqualify anyone. The biggest reason being that they don't have a whistle or a life jacket. There are different kinds of life jackets though, and not all of them are immediately identifiable. It explains more of that in the instructions. There are extra registration forms for anyone who is registering that day, and I'll go over that more in a few minutes. There are blank waivers for anyone who has not yet turned in their waiver, and again I'll bring that up shortly when I go over registration. There are boat number recording forms that are in here. This is for volunteers at your site, if it is within your instructions that you have this, to keep track of all the boats as they pass by. It's not necessary to write every single boat in every single second, but it is necessary to put a time and then a bunch of boats. We need to know every boat as it passes by. This is a safety thing. We do refer to this if we have any issues later on in the day. There are also some laminated forms that should be posted somewhere so that all the paddlers know what all of the boat tag colors are for here, so they know who they're racing against, and the balloon colors, which tell them when they have to take their boats out to portage them and where to put them back in. I've also included a few race books for people to look through if they're looking for more information about the Charles River Watershed Association, or if they need to refer to any rules or terms. That is all within here. And there is a site review. I use these every single year in helping to tighten up all of the volunteer instructions and to make sure I have the right amount of supplies. If you're missing anything that you feel that you really need, you can have your lead volunteer call me at the finish line, and I can try to get different things brought to your site. But for the most part, you should be all set with what is included in here. But it is helpful if you have any comments or suggestions for you to let me know, and you can also just shoot me an email after the event. So in your instructions, I kind of go over what everything is, the signage, the registration, how to do everything. If you read this in advance, it will help you a lot. At your site, you will be given water and other juices and granola bars and snacks like that. Those are for everybody. Those should be properly disposed of afterwards. If they're not used, we'll throw them back on our truck and we'll donate them. If there is trash or recycling, we will dispose of that properly at the finish line as well. So please keep the trash and recycling separate. If you are a registration site, which is Great Plain, Riverdale, Duck Pond, and the finish line, you will have a separate box that has all of the registration numbers in it. So they're, depending on which site you're at, they're going to have different numbers and all of that. So when people check in, I'm going to use the 24-mile relay for an example right now. When they check in as a 24-mile relay, they can either go by their team name or by the last name, which is not showing right here. When you have your 2 paddlers per boat, they should show up. If they have their signed waivers, it will say yes. After we have their signed waivers, we can then hand them their boat number. The boat numbers get attached to the front of the boat so that the volunteers along the course can see them and then write them down as they're going by. So they should be visible. If we don't have their waivers, we do need them to fill those out before we give them their boat tags. We will also then hand them a whistle. Each boat has a whistle. If it's a 24-mile relay boat, the whistle gets passed on like a baton in the boat to the next twosome. They will also receive a wristband. The wristband they will just wear until they get to the finish line, then the volunteers at the finish line will cut them off and then give them their t-shirts at the finish line. Within everything there are lists, so you should know what was there to begin with, and if you need something else, like I said, you can let your lead volunteer know and they can call me. The emergency protocols are that if there is an emergency, you should try to let your lead volunteer, let the ham operators know. They should call 911. Obviously, you should make a judgment call. If you need to call 911, call them. But the ham operator should know. They also know the coordinates of where everybody are located. Some people are in the woods, some people are near water, some people aren't near a visible identifying point. So it's important for the ham operators to be able to give the coordinates. If you have any other questions after watching this video, which hopefully wasn't too long, you can call me anytime. My number here is 508-698-6810, extension 10. My cell phone number, which is also located on your volunteer instructions, if you need me the day of the race, is 508-498-8020, and I'm also available by email, which is how you're getting this link, so you should have access to me that way. In closing, I just want to thank you for helping the Charles River Watershed Association. We appreciate your time. Thank you.